Welcome to SPCE 630. This course is Research Methods for Behavior Analysts. My name is Dr. Kim Zoder-Martel. I am a licensed psychologist and a board-certified behavior analyst, and I am the content specialist for this course. That means that for every section of SPCE 630, I've developed the content and I help to support your instructors in effectively teaching this material. This research methods course is probably a little bit different from other research methods courses that you might have taken while you were an undergraduate, or I know some of you have other graduate programs. It's different because it focuses on single case research design, whereas most of the research methods courses that my students have taken in the past have really emphasized group research design. In group research design, you have large groups of participants who you randomly assign to two or more conditions, collect some sort of data, and then utilize a statistic like a t-test or an ANOVA to analyze your results, hoping for statistical significance. Single case research design is a little bit different, and it's especially relevant for answering real-world applied research questions. So, for example, is this intervention effective for my client? Is a combination of interventions most effective for my client? Which intervention or intervention components are most effective? So these questions allow me to answer the single case research design allows me to ask questions that are going to be relevant for my clients and for determining the effectiveness of interventions for my clients. Single case research design is very commonly used in behavior analytic research and in educational research and in psychological research. One of the journals that you're probably familiar with at this point that publishes a lot of behavior analytic research is the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, or Behavior Analysis and Practice, Verbal Behavior. So there is a large number of journals that focus on this research methodology. Sometimes single case research design is called an N of 1 study or single subject research, or sometimes even case studies, but these are misnomers because it implies that you only have one participant or one subject. And in most single case research designs, you actually have more than one participant. The terminology single case research design is the most accurate description of this methodology, because a case can be one individual or it can be a group of individuals, such as students in a classroom or a community, or even a grouping of clients who are presenting with similar presentations. This course is new to the sequence at Ball State University, and I've had tons of fun preparing this course. When the 5th edition BACB task list comes out, single case research design will be required as a standalone course in order for students to be eligible to take the BCBA exam, and so taking this course will help you in meeting that requirement. I have worked pretty hard to organize this course in a way that makes sense for you and walks you through some of the uses of single case research design. I understand that the material is a little bit dense and can be pretty complicated. We're going to start the semester talking about general issues in research methodology. So things like the ethics involved in conducting studies, or the basics like what's an independent variable and a dependent variable. We'll talk about issues like reliability and validity, those things that you need to know for any good research design. Then we'll transition into talking a little bit about group research design. For years and years, group research design was really the gold standard in research design, especially that randomized control trial. So we'll talk about some of the benefits of group research design, but we're also going to talk about some of the limitations of group research design and how single case research design can be equally credible and really helps to fill an important gap in the literature. After you have the foundation for some of the limitations of group research design, we'll delve into applied research, and you'll get a general background about single case research design and how it's going to be relevant to you, whether or not you plan to pursue a career, say as a researcher in academia, or if you plan to go into clinical practice. We'll talk a lot about the concept of the scientist practitioner and the importance of using research design to help guide your practice and inform your decisions regarding the interventions that you're selecting and implementing and evaluating for use with your clients. We'll talk about many of the different single case research designs that you can use. You'll have information presented regarding the design. We'll talk about the logic of each design and the types of research questions that can be answered using each of the designs, and some of the benefits and limitations of using the designs. Toward the end of the semester, we will transition into some of the controversial topics of single case research design and some of the advances to the field. So we'll talk about statistical analysis for low-end studies. We'll talk about meta-analyses and even some alternatives to visual analysis. And then we'll finish by talking about some of the unresolved issues in the field of single case research design, things that we need to work on improving to enhance or further enhance the credibility of single case research design. Throughout the semester, you are going to complete a variety of assignments that are designed to help you master the content. Some of these assignments are designed to be very quick checks for your mastery of the content, but typically many of the assignments will require a lot of time. My tip to you is to begin the projects ahead of time. Don't leave them for the last week, because many of the assignments are going to take much more time than you anticipate in order to complete. For many of the assignments, I have completed a tip video or video overview for each of the assignments. My suggestion to you is to try to watch these the first week of class to get a sense of how the assignments will work together to provide you with the foundational knowledge of single case research design. But then you might also find them helpful to watch again as you are preparing an assignment for submission. The material in this course can be very challenging. It's dense and it's complicated, and oftentimes students who are used to getting A's may find that they're struggling to get a B in this course because it's not something that you probably have a lot of experience with. Depending upon your job requirements, even in some ABA centers or some schools where they do use single case research design to guide practice, it's often not to the level or understanding that you'll need to be successful in this class. For example, in my clinical practice, I find that the most common design that people use is an A-B design, where you collect some baseline data and you implement an intervention, and you try to determine the intervention effectiveness simply by that implementation. And as you'll find later and throughout the semester when we get into the single case research designs, that this really is insufficient to show a functional relationship. I want to make sure that you feel supported in completing the course requirements. So please make sure to reach out to your instructor frequently. It's better to reach out to your instructor early. I have several students who I've set standing appointments with where we met on a weekly basis just to clarify some of the material. Your instructors are happy to guide you through any of the material that's complicated or that you're not quite sure that you're understanding. And it's definitely better to reach out to your instructor early and frequently than to get to the end of the semester and say, oh my goodness, I'm not sure if I'm going to pass this class. What can I do? I think that students find it much more manageable when they have frequent contact with their instructor throughout the semester. One of the things that you'll notice in this course is there is a student forum in the discussion board section. The purpose of this forum is to facilitate collaboration and to make sure that you're getting to know the other students in the class. It is ungraded, but it is a useful way to post questions or to get information to make sure that you're understanding material. Your instructor will check in with the student forum about once a week. Sometimes I check in more frequently and they'll respond to questions. Sometimes if, you know, I'm getting a lot of similar emails about a topic, I'll ask a student to post the question in the form and I'll answer them there. But it's a great place to ask questions about assignments and the content, and feel free to say, hey, I am just not understanding this concept. Can anyone help me? And as a student, you can feel free to chime in. If you know the answer, go at it, and also your instructor will chime in as well. I know that it is inevitable that there will be social media pages for this course. Again, I understand that it's complicated material, it's an online setting. Social media is a great way to have study groups, but I want to caution you with using social media. First off, social media can add fuel to the fire. So someone might post a question, there might be misinformation posted, or someone posts an answer that is inaccurate, and in my experience it tends to add fuel to the fire. So my recommendation is that while it's okay to join the social media group for this course, it's always better to get information straight from the horse's mouth, the horse being your instructor. Your instructor can help you to understand the material. Just always make sure that you're going back to the instructor. I know last semester one of the things that was posted on social media was about whether or not something constituted an empirical article, and the students were way off base. But I didn't feel that it was my role as the instructor to chime in there. And I know that someone came back to me afterwards and said, hey, this is what's posted on Facebook. Is this accurate? The other thing that I want to caution you about with social media is sharing materials that should not be shared, like classified information, such as an exam question. Almost every semester, a student will take a screenshot for me and say, hey, look, such and such question is posted on social media. This is in violation with the academic integrity policy, and so while it's okay to share your frustrations, to provide resources, to provide tips, to answer questions, sharing materials from the course is not appropriate, especially not exam questions. I hope that you enjoy this course a little bit and that you learn valuable information that you can take back to your practice, and I hope that after taking this course you have a new way of looking at things and looking at the way that you practice with your clients, whether you are at an ABA center, a hospital, a residential center, a school, or plan to pursue a career in research. Remember that your instructors are here to help you. Reach out to us as frequently as you need to in order to be successful in the class. Thank you and have a great semester.